What's up guys, this is Anime Crossover. I'm back with a new series of What If Naruto Was Trained by the Sage of Six Path Part 1. And if you did enjoy this video, give this video 100 likes. And if you're new to my channel and like my content, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more crossover fictions with a twist. Now let's begin this new video.
Chapter 1 The Gathering of the Sages. Time appears to be passing slowly in the area. The air is thick with blood and sorrow. The surrounding area is littered with 5-foot craters and trees that have been completely destroyed. A monstrous figure with one huge eye and razor-sharp teeth approaches in the distance. The Rinne Shuriken of the 10 tails opened. The 10 limbs of the creature, on the other hand, are its most distinguishing feature. The 10-tailed beast was the most terrifying beast creature. Its power had no bounds and was thought to be unstoppable, but that changed when one man met the beast. That man was the Sage of the Six Paths, the father of all ninjas. Obito and Madara Uchiha, two well-known ninja, stand atop the 10 tails head. The former was thought to have died during the Third Shinobi World War, but he was brought back to life by an elderly Madara Uchiha before succumbing to his injuries. Obito intended to resurrect the 10 tails and seal it within himself, thereby becoming its Jinchuriki. The beast, on the other hand, is missing 2-tailed beasts, the 8 and 9 tails. Both Killer Bee from the Hidden Cloud Village and Naruto Uzumaki from the Hidden Leaf Village are currently imprisoned in their Jinchuriki. The former and latter are currently 40 yards away from their allied shinobi forces' opponents. Naruto's attire changed when he transformed into his tailed beast mode, a body he gained after he and Kurama, the true identity of the 9 tails, began to collaborate. The hero of the Hidden Leaf was using shadow clones and the energy send technique to send Kurama's energy to the shinobi forces. The entire force now has a Jinchuriki-style tailless version 1 chakra cloak. Naruto was ready to fight the 10 tails with the shinobi force at his side. "Attack!" yelled the blonde Jinchuriki, clutching 2 Rasen Shuriken. Shikamaru and the Nara clan used shadow possession jutsu to restrain the 10 tails' movements, while Choji and his fellow clansmen restrained the beast's limbs. Obito instructed the beast to defend itself by using its appendages, obstructing the shinobi's path. "I don't think so." Naruto leapt into the air, Lee close behind him, and threw his first Rasen Shuriken, destroying the first 5 tails. He felt a separation and burning agony in his back as he was about to perform his second jutsu. "What?" he asked, looking over his left shoulder. "That's right. It's dislocated from the previous attack," he says, turning around to see Hinata behind him. "Gentle fist," Hinata said as he hit Naruto's shoulder and adjusted it. "Thank you, Hinata," Naruto said, launching his second Rasen Shuriken at Obito as Guy pushed Lee higher. Lee yelled, "Kick some butt." While the Rasen Shuriken advanced on Obito, the green beast of the leaf roundhouse kicked Madara and fractured his midsection. The Uchiha used his powerful jutsu, allowing the chakra shuriken to pass through him unharmed. "Your assault on me was futile, Uzumaki." Naruto grinned. "Is that correct?" Uchiha inquired, noting that the connection between him, Madara, and the 10 tails had been severed. Madara quickly recovered, and he and Obito leapt from the beast's head to the ground. With their distinct strategies, the shinobi forces quickly defeated the beast. Naruto landed about 25 yards from the 2 Uchihas. "You two no longer control the 10 tails, it's over," Naruto declared emphatically, taking a halting stance. "It's not over until you're dead," Obito declared as he took a stance and Madara prepared his weapon in a reverse hold. A shadow fell over them as Naruto was about to strike. When the shinobi looked up and saw a foot approaching, he jumped backwards to see the foot land where he and the Uchihas had been. "What the?" the sage inquired, noticing the 10 tails drooling and slightly parted mouth. He'll never forget that sight. "Ew, that's gross," Naruto exclaimed as he watched his fellow ninja attack the beast, completely unaware that Obito had phased out of the ground behind him to strike. Obito reached out his right arm in an attempt to entice Naruto into his Kamui dimension. Obito had an idea as soon as he made eye contact with the young Jinchuriki. "This is my triumph." When the young Uzumaki vanished without a trace, the Uchiha was taken aback. Where did he go now? He waited to be hit, his gaze searching for his opponent. When he turned around, he noticed the Jinchuriki wielding a primed Rasengan. "Rasengan!" Naruto yelled as he approached the maniac, but his strike flew right through him. Obito placed his right palm on the blonde's left shoulder, attempting to suck him with his Kamui, but Naruto beat him to it. The Uzumaki reappeared 40 yards away from Obito, thinking about his next move. "All right, Now that he and Madara are no longer in command of the 10 tails, I'll use my speed to surprise him. That's not going to work, exclaimed Naruto, knowing the speaker. What do you mean, it's not going to work? You tried that just now, and look at the result. He knew where you were going to appear and he phased through your attack. You need an unpredictable attack, Naruto realized after considering Kurama's assessment. He does need to devise a strategy to catch Obito and Madara off guard. Wait a minute, Madara, where have you gone? Naruto noticed the elder Uchiha had vanished. He sought out his other opponent and braced himself for an attack at any moment. When the elder Uchiha redirected his mini-tailed beast ball with one of the first Hokage's wood-style techniques, the sage knew he was no pushover. Wait, what happened to this guy? You're not using your abilities to find him, Naruto observed puzzledly. What ability? The fox exclaimed, squeezing his nasal bridge. Your proclivity for hatred, malice, and other negative emotions. Oh yeah, I forgot about that, Naruto laughed softly. Sometimes I wonder if your denseness has an upper limit, exhales Kurama. Hey, I'm not that stupid. Stop arguing with me, Naruto, and concentrate on the battle. The redhead was told he was on a battlefield, up against 2 insane men and the most powerful beast. While looking for Madara, he closed his eyes and focused on his emotions. When he turned to his left, he saw the dead Uchiha with his right arm outstretched, gesticulating at him. Oh, no, universal pull. An invisible force drew Naruto towards Madara. Naruto's canines clenched. Damn Rinnegan, exclaimed the sage, summoning a chakra arm from his robe and commanding it to grip the ground, bringing him to a halt. When the jutsu ran out, Naruto expelled the appendage and collapsed to the ground. I have to say, Jinchuriki, you impress me. I suppose I should have expected that from someone distantly related to the Senju clan, Madara sneered. I suppose you shouldn't underestimate your opponents, no matter how old they are, Naruto observed. Madara smiled and looked to his right, then to Opshio beside him, and then back to the child. You will not be able to defeat us no matter how hard you fight. Naruto erupted in laughter. I'll fight until both of you are dead. Opshio laughed quietly at the remark. You overlooked one more person. Naruto was perplexed. And who's that? He asked, noting that one of the demon's tails was already on top of him. Crap. The location of the whiskered samurai was shaken by an earthquake, which was followed by dust. The dust cloud quickly dissipated, revealing the smashed-in tail. The dust beneath the tail had settled, revealing the leaf shinobi, both arms stretched overhead, pulling on the tail. He was suffocating in a 5-foot-deep pit with spider cracks sprouting from the sides. Damn, this thing is heavy, exclaimed Naruto, referring to the tail's weight. Despite being in tailed beast mode, he could feel his arms and thighs warming up. Watch out, Naruto. He was aware of the fox's apprehension. When the sage turned around, he saw the Uchihas approaching him, ready to strike. Damn, my arms are completely occupied right now. Obito and Madara approached their opponent with only one thought in their minds: you're no longer alive. 2 female ninja in version 1 cloaks jumped in front of the Uchihas after appearing on top of the tail. A cherry blossom punch, said a familiar voice as he recognized the names. Naruto smiled. Twin lion fists, exclaimed Gentle Fist. Hinata. Sakura. The 2 warriors dodged the feminine pair, causing them to miss. The men jumped backward, covering 15 yards from the 3. Naruto erupted in laughter. Nice to see you girls, he muttered as he tried to relax his arms. Ha, can't let you have all the fun, Sakura joked to her knucklehead pal. She couldn't believe the difference between this man and the kid she met 2 years ago, and she's now fighting to keep him safe. Do you mind if we join you? Someone asked. With the exception of Naruto, Sakura and Hinata looked around and saw the rest of the Konoha 11 in their version 1 chakra cloaks walking down the path. They jumped down and landed next to the 2 Kunoichi, surprising Naruto. What exactly are you doing here? Shikamaru muttered. Really? You're asking us that? We're here to help you defeat these guys, Shoji said, pressing his fingers against his exposed left hand. Naruto exhaled as the others nodded in agreement. When the party heard laughter, they turned to look at Obito, who was smiling. Do you honestly believe you and your pitiful companions can stop us now, Naruto? You shouldn't underestimate your opponent, regardless of age, the Konoha 11 agreed, grinning and bowing. You leaf ninja are really annoying me. I'll finish you all right now, Madara said after finishing a hand sign. Naruto snarled and launched the tail, concentrating all of his strength in his limbs. His friends were taken aback as they watched the tail cross over them on its way to the Uchihas. Damn that brat. exclaimed Obito as the elder Uchiha, and he dashed away from the tail. Another earthquake was caused by the impact, causing some of the Konoha 11 to stumble. Naruto's appearance surprised everyone. "What?" a perplexed Naruto asked. Choji erupted in laughter. "You are the most powerful of all of us." The beautiful lady laughed. "Thank you, but we need to concentrate now, Choji," Naruto said, motioning to his tail. Everyone turned to see Obito and Madara standing there, the latter with the same hand seal and the former performing the hand seal jutsu until he reached the same seal. "Now, where were we? Oh, I remember. We're going to destroy you." The young shinobi group braced themselves for whatever was in store for them. Ready. Ready. Fire style. Dragon flame jut. When the duo noticed blood spurting from nowhere, Obito felt an agonizing pain in his stomach. They looked down to see a massive hand and, out of the corner of their eye, the motionless 10 tails. Obito asked, blood dripping from his mouth, "What? I can't believe I let my guard down around that demon." Madara tried to move, thinking he'd just recover his body, but he couldn't, at all. "How come I can't move?" Madara wondered. Meanwhile, Naruto and his friend were attempting to comprehend what had just occurred on the Konoha 11. "Do you have any theories, Kurama, as to why the 10 tails attacked them? I thought it was fighting with them." "There haven't been any so far, but I'm afraid something will happen, so stay alert." "Okay, keep an eye on things in case we have to go tailed beast mode." "Understood," Naruto continued, his gaze fixed on the 10 tails, who had drawn the two Uchihas up to its face. He heard Madara instruct the beast to free them, but he failed. "Release us," screamed Madara again. "You are not in charge here, mortal," everyone, including Madara and Obito, remarks. "Can it talk?" inquired Konoha 11. "Of course it can talk. What did you expect?" "A mute," Kurama remarked, causing Naruto to shudder. "Why did you attack us?" Obito asked quietly. The 10 tails cast a sidelong glance at him. "I have my own plans, and I will not be swayed by mortals. I will rule this world once more, with no one to stop me this time." Everyone shuddered as the demon's voice released malevolent energy. Madara and Obito exchanged glances and nods before facing the 10 tails. They raised their right arms, but Obito struggles due to the sword in his abdomen. The powerful jutsu collided with the demon's face, resulting in an eruption and particle fog. Naruto could tell the attack had reached a peak. The Konoha 11 students' minds expanded at the thought, and they only had one thought: did it go well? When the dust settled, they discovered the creature who was still imprisoning the Uchihas. When the two megalomaniacs noticed that the 10 tails are unmoved by their planned attack, their eyes enlarge. "What? It's not even scratched!" exclaimed Madara. "I saw that attack the last time I saw it when I was fighting that cursed sage of the 6 paths, and your 2 attacks were nothing compared to that mortal's attack." Madara and Obito were surprised to learn that their current power was inferior to that of their ancestor. As he nears death, the latter coughs up more blood. The 10 tails laughed. "You two are pitiful. You thought you could rule the world and nothing could touch you if you could just control me for a second. Now, allow me to dispose of you too." Obito's pupils dilated as the beast drooled and opened his mouth. The latter then noticed a dark energy entering the beast's mouth and realized he was significantly weaker than before. Unless. The Uchiha noticed the dark energy flowing from him up the beast's arm and into its mouth as he looked down at his stomach. "No," Obito murmured, realizing the source of the energy was his own. The mortal's vitality was continued to be drained by the 10 tails until the latter's body decomposed. Obito Uchiha's body vanished, reduced to ash. Madara, the Konoha 11, and the shinobi forces were all taken aback by the display of inhumanity. The elder Uchiha then faced the 10 tails, who realized it was his turn. "You will not be able to kill me. I will simply regenerate because I am already dead," Madara boasted. When the 10 tails smiled, the shinobi became concerned. "Is that so? Then I'll make sure there's no trace of your presence anywhere. Not only did I devour your fellow clansman's chakra, I devoured his soul." When Madara heard the news, he felt fear for the first time in a long time. Then he felt his energy draining from his body, his eyeballs emptying, and his body dissolving into fragments. When Naruto saw what had happened, he couldn't believe it. His opponents, 2 of the most powerful and challenging shinobi he had ever faced, had been defeated and were no longer alive. As the creature locked its gaze on him and his companions, he exclaimed, "Guys, brace yourselves. This is going to get a lot more difficult," Naruto said as he and his friends took their positions. "We must go all in, Kurama, and push our limits even further than before." I know, the fox replied. When the name of the 10 tails was called out, he turned to face the shinobi forces. Come on, everyone. Flood it with all your jutsu, exclaimed a member of the Nara clan. The entire armed forces yelled, right. They used every offensive jutsu in their arsenal against the 10 tails, including the fire, water, earth, wind, and lightning-style cloaks. In response to the demon's coordinated attacks, which created a massive dust cloud, the multi-tailed beast snarled. The assault lasted several minutes and shocked the Konoha 11. Do you think they'll scratch him? Asked Ino. Perhaps. I mean, they're unleashing everything they've got, and even that beast won't get away unscathed, Kiba responded. Shikamaru, Naruto, and Kurama, on the other hand, realized that their increased power wasn't enough. Finally, the forces disintegrated the chakra cloaks, signaling the end of the heightened state. The shinobi were all exhausted and wobbled a little before falling to their knees, breathing heavily but beaming, believing they'd won. With the exception of the Uzumaki, Nara, and Kurama, the dust fog gradually dispersed, revealing a massive figure. The wind blew away the cloud, revealing the intimidating beast, who didn't seem bothered by the assault and wore an unconcerned expression on its face. No way. Not a scratch on him, cried a terrified shinobi. The 10 tails then looked at the alliance and laughed, making everyone shudder, before opening its mouth and condensing black and blue energy into a ball. When everyone realizes it's another tailed beast bomb, their eyes widen. Naruto leapt in front of his companions, arms folded. Get ready, guys. The Konoha 11 complied, bracing themselves for what was to come. Kurama, we need to go full-tailed beast mode right now, they exclaimed, but it was too late to respond or change their minds. The 10 tails had amassed enough chakra to deal with the vexing threat. Farewell, pests, he exclaimed as he detonated the device, sending a chakra beam to its targets, who were too stunned to respond. The accident caused a massive particle haze and a massive impact. The dust cloud quickly dissipated, revealing a massive trench-like hole that seemed to go on forever. I will kill you next, but not before I take what's mine, the 10 tails said, pointing his claw at Naruto. You and that other Jinchuriki have the last remaining parts of chakra. I will tear them apart from you, and when I absorb them, I will be complete. You're battling me, there's nothing you can do to harm me, I'm unbeatable. Shut your trap, yelled Naruto, his fists clenched. His friends looked at their blonde companion, shocked by the latter's actions, and felt fear as they returned their gaze to the beast. The demon laughed and looked at Naruto, saying, no one has defied me since that cursed sage, both in appearance and spirit. I will crush that. He then rushed at the shinobi group, who were surprised by the demon's speed despite its size. As the 10 tails approached, he felt a searing blow to the face and was sent skidding across the ground, creating a large gap between himself and the 10 tails' targets. You caught me off guard there, he smiled as he looked around for the person who had hit him and saw the 8 tails standing over the shinobi. As he looked up at B, Naruto smiled. Finally recovered your strength, huh? He inquired, receiving a positive response from his comrade Jinchuriki before facing his friends. Guys, it's been an honor fighting alongside you and having you guys as my friends. I don't regret it and I never will, everyone exclaimed, smiling and wiping away tears. We're glad you're here, and we don't regret it, Sakura said, and everyone nodded. Naruto saluted back and turned to face the 10 tails. Alright, 10 tails. You want to rip Gyuki and Kurama out of our bodies? You'll have to take them by force. Naruto went into full-tailed beast mode, his cloak expanding into Kurama's general shape and becoming transparent, with the same seal around it. The Konoha 11 stand atop the fox, stunned, with Sakura spotting Naruto inside the fox's head. Naruto and Kurama faced Gyuki and B, who faced the 10 tails again. The 10 tails and the 2 Jinchuriki charged. The Jinchuriki, Kurama, Gyuki, and the Konoha 11 yelled as they prepared to fight to the bitter end. 10 minutes later, Arg, Naruto screamed as he collided with the ground. He was lying in a 10-foot hole when he opened his eyes, in agony all over his body and with numerous injuries and scrapes. Having overlooked the fact that he was no longer in tailed beast mode, the sage gingerly rose up, ignoring the excruciating pain, and walked out of the hole, tripping as he went and staring at the scene that shocked him. The bodies of his companions lay on the ground, surrounded by puddles of blood. As he looked at them, Naruto's eyes welled up with tears, and he turned to see the 10 tails 30 yards away, consuming Gyuki from B's body and soon his energy. No. Killer B, Naruto murmured as the singing ninja vanished and the monster turned to face him. See what happens when those who defy me die. You and your friends chose this, and now you must pay the price, which will be the last bit of my chakra inside you. As the tall monster approached, Naruto clenched his fangs. He remembers the last 10 minutes of the battle, when he, Kurama, and their other allies charged the monster. Both sides are fighting tooth and nail, with the last surviving shinobi forces stretched to their limits. They'd thrown everything they had, even with the connection between Kurama, Naruto, and the Konoha 11, and it still wasn't enough. The sage was panting heavily as the 10 tails came to a halt 15 yards ahead of him, looming over him and beaming at him. "Don't worry, pest. I'll make your death quick and painless," Naruto said as he clenched his knuckles and stared at the 10 tails. "Kurama, Naruto," the fox said. "How about we go out with a bang?" Naruto suggested, making his companion smile. "You bet. Brat," the fox said, his Jinchuriki smirking. The 10 tails became aware of this and inquired, "What's the point of smirking as you're about to die?" "Because I have no regrets," Naruto said as he entered his tailed beast mode for the final time, "and I won't stop fighting," the Jinchuriki said, raising his right arm in the air and pouring energy into his hand. The energy quickly transformed into a large shuriken with a sphere in the center, emitted a deafening bell-like shriek, and exploded. "Rasen Shuriken, wind style, is my final technique." The 10 tails were only slightly impressed by the mortal's size and battle to the end. "Very well," the demon grinned. "I was about to rip my chakra from your body, but I guess I'll have to wait for it to regenerate. Farewell, Jinchuriki." The beast opened its lips and funneled its chakra in front of its mouth, preparing another tailed beast ball. Naruto retaliated by channeling all of his and Kurama's power into the jutsu, which grew even more powerful than before. The two methods were making the ground tremble, boulders hover in midair, and spider fissures in the ground nearby. "Kurama." Naruto started. "Yes, Naruto?" inquired the tailed beast. "I'm glad you became my friend, and I don't regret it," the whiskered samurai said, drawing a snarl from the fox. "I'm the same way, Naruto," Kurama replied. The two entities exchanged glances as they planned their strategies. "Goodbye, pest." The bomb had been released by the 10 tails and was on its way to its next target. Naruto clenched his teeth and hurled the shuriken at the approaching jutsu, the shinobi leaving tailed beast mode with a final scream of effort. When the bomb and Rasen Shuriken collided, the latter's jutsu increased dramatically. The shuriken clung to the bomb for a few moments before it was blasted through it and towards the Jinchuriki. As the bomb approached, Naruto said, "Goodbye, Kurama." "Bye, Naruto Uzumaki," Kurama said, surprised that he was about to lose his only companion. Uzumaki, the adolescent, closed his eyes, bracing himself for the blow. Strange lights were whirling around the shinobi's body, eventually devouring him and shooting up into the heavens, unbeknownst to him. When the demon's jutsu collided with the earth and burned the Konoha 11 corpses, it caused another tremor and a massive dust cloud. As the fog was carried away by a strong breeze, the 10 tails burst out laughing. "Now, no one can stop my reign this time," exclaimed the devil as the final barrier, or so he thought. The unknown world Naruto waited for the bomb to hit his body, but it never came. He opened his eyes to find himself in a strange white chamber that seemed to stretch on for miles with nothing in sight. "What the? Where am I?" pondered Naruto. "Naruto," said a voice. The shinobi's pupils widened as he turned around and saw his companion, Kurama, looming over him. "Kurama, what are you doing here? What am I doing here?" a worried Naruto exclaimed. Kurama's eyes dilate as he recognizes the location by looking at the floor. Two circles with symbols around them, one of which he finds himself seated in. "Naruto, I know where we are. We're in." The fox's Jinchuriki panicked around the room, causing him to sweat and become agitated. "Will you stop and listen to me?" demanded Kurama, bringing the blonde to a halt, the beast squeezing his nasal bridge and groaning. "Okay, so you know where we are. What is this place?" The tailed beast was about to respond when he was startled by the face behind his Jinchuriki. "What is it, Kurama?" he asked, turning around to see a man standing in the center of the circle. He had short light-colored hair that rose up in the front in two distinct sections that resembled horns. On the back of the collar, he wore a full-length robe with a high collar that revealed a chain of 6 red magatama and a stylized rinnegan with 9 magatama in 3 rows beneath it. The rinnegan in his irises, however, is the most noticeable feature. Naruto's pupils widened as he realized the man in front of him had defeated the 10 tails centuries ago. "The Six Paths Sage? Kurama, am I hallucinating?" "No, Naruto, it's him," Kurama said, stunned. The sage laughed and grinned at the two. I'm glad the younger generation knows your name, Kurama, the wise sage said, startling Naruto. Wait, I'm your descendant? Asked Naruto. Kurama exhaled deeply. Remember your conversation with your mother, Naruto, the young sage reflected, remembering that his tribe, the Uzumaki tribe, is distant blood relatives to the Shinju clan, who are the sage's direct heirs. Oh, yeah, I remember. Cool, I'm related to the sage of the six paths, exclaimed Naruto, overjoyed. The elder sage was pleased with his descendants' actions and grateful that he had led the tailed beasts in the right direction. Naruto and Kurama were both drawn to the older ninja's solemn grin. Sage? Are you a senior citizen? I have to tell you why I brought you two here, said the sage. Naruto then recalls his battle companions and the trajectory of the 10 tailed beast bomb toward them. You brought me here? Why didn't you bring my friends with me? Enraged Naruto, shocking the pair. How come you didn't let me perish alongside them? Naruto, exclaimed Kurama, making the redhead recoil. The sage snatched his hand in his. Don't worry, Kurama, he's angry, and I understand. Naruto panted heavily for a few moments before calmly looking at the sage. Would you mind explaining why you brought us here? The shinobi god nodded and carried on. I summoned you and Kurama here to explain how to split the 10 tails chakra, rescue the other tailed beasts, and end the demon's wrath. Naruto and Kurama were taken aback. The Jinchuriki was supposed to ask the question right away. Sage, a young redhead, queried, How? How can we stop the 10 tails? Sage described the 6 paths. When I defeated the 10 tails, I split the 10 tails chakra into the tailed beasts using 4 mystical items, and after I finished splitting the chakra, I sent the items to 4 different worlds that I traveled to years before my death, in case the 10 tails revived. Naruto couldn't believe what he was hearing, and he's certain his companion is feeling the same way. Okay, point us in the right direction, and Kurama and I will find them. The sage shook his head, perplexing the redhead. Can you explain why you disagree? Regardless of your current strength, you will not be able to defeat the guardians I have assigned to protect the keys, the first shinobi replied. In response to this remark, Naruto grimaced and lowered his head. However, this piqued Naruto's interest, and he raised his head to look at the older sage. I can train you to become stronger, to the point where you may equal or even exceed my strength. Naruto collapsed in anime style when the first shinobi allowed him to train. He quickly stood up and said, What are we waiting for? Let's get this started, Naruto exclaimed cheerfully, drawing laughter from the 6 paths in Kurama. As they looked at each other, the two exchanged smiles. It's good to see you again, Kurama. Old man, I'm looking at you. After soothing the young blonde ninja, the 3 passed through the sage of the 6 paths gateway. We'll meet again, 10 tails, Naruto reflected as he prepared for the training. The adventure begins in Chapter 2. 6 months had passed since Uzumaki and his tailed beast companion had accepted instruction from their distant blood progenitor, the sage of the 6 paths. The training was extremely demanding, with each practice being more painful than the last, but it was well worth it. Naruto was pleased with himself and his companion as he felt his strength grow with each training exercise. The bond between the Jinchuriki and the tailed beast grew stronger as they exercised together under the supervision of the elder sage. Of course, they argue and irritate each other on occasion, much to the sage's delight, but that's how companions are. The triumvirate resided on the 6 paths estate, which included a massive home large enough to house 10 families, 3 kitchens, 2 swimming pools in the back, and a 50-acre training field complete with a furnace and a blacksmith to make weaponry. The land was given to the sage as a reward for his valiant defeat of the 10 tails by their deities, Kami and Shinigami. Naruto was greeted by his distant blood relatives, the Shinju clan, including the Shinju clan ancestor, when he first arrived at the palace-like estate. He was overjoyed to finally meet the powerful bloodline that had founded his native village, Konoha, and set the standards that had ensured the community's survival for centuries. The sage informed his young grandson that a final test would be conducted to determine how far he had progressed and whether he was strong, powerful enough to embark on the quest for the 4 sealing keys. Naruto predicted that he would ace the exam. That moment has come. The sage estate, training grounds. The training ground was built to withstand the most powerful and difficult assaults, but when Naruto Uzumaki fights, everything is off the table. There are several 20-foot deep holes that emit smoke and appear to flood the atmosphere with lighting. The entire Shinju clan was watching the child battle their progenitor, satisfied that the Uzumaki clan was equally, if not more powerful than them. A detonation occurred, filling the area with smoke, and 2 figures raced into the haze from opposing directions, followed by metal and flame collisions. One of the figures suddenly leapt into the air, emerging from the haze to reveal himself to be the young sage. He'd changed out of his orange uniform and into standard leaf ninja garb, retaining only his black headpiece with the leaf emblem etched metal plate affixed, and was covered in scrapes and injuries. The breeze had dispersed the fog, revealing his opponent, the sage, who had only scrapes on his clothing. The older samurai made hand seals before clamping his palms together. "Water style, liquid bullet," he exclaimed, launching a high-pressure water projectile at the sage. "All right then." Naruto clenched his hands together, chakra flowing through his lips. "Wind style, air bullet." He expelled a highly compressed air bullet at the approaching water projectile. The water dispersed and rained on the training-turned battleground in a state when the opposing element assaults collided. The blonde ninja was still in the air when the six paths made quick hand signs, causing the boy's eyes to dilate as he recognized the jutsu. "Oh, boy, I'm still too high. Better think of something quick," Naruto thought. The sage began his assault. Fire style, dragon flame jutsu. A fire dragon appeared from the older ninja's lips, quickly approaching the young ninja with his hands clenched once more. Wind style, stream. Naruto blew a stream of wind at the flame, causing it to miss its target. The adolescent Uzumaki landed gently on the ground, stood up, and smirked at his opponent. During the 6 months of strengthening, the blonde ninja went through elemental training again, and as a result, he completely mastered his primary elemental chakra to the point where he no longer needs to do hand signs to perform wind-style ninjutsu, but the other elements are a different story. "You've come a long way since our first battle. You tired yourself out easily when you used your Sage mode and Nine Tails chakra mode to keep up with me, but now you're using the same amount of strength and speed without transforming or tiring yourself out. You should be proud." Naruto burst out laughing at the remark. "Thank you, sensei. It means a lot coming from you, but..." The older sage raised an eyebrow. "I know you're not using half of your speed and power." "Neither am I," Naruto smiled back at the sage. "I told you you could use your sword," the sage said, watching his protege pick up and inspect his weapon. "Come on, I know you can do it." Naruto examined his newly crafted weapon, feeling an odd connection to it, as if it was trying to tell him something. "What are you going to name it, Naruto?" the sage asked the young fighter. "What do you call it?" asked Naruto, perplexed. The sage made a motion. "It is customary for us to name our weapons after they have been forged," Naruto explained, closing his eyes once more. Time seemed to pass as the young shinobi deliberated on what name to give the blade until he opened his eyes and heard some form of singing from the blade that only he could hear. Finally, he came up with a suitable name for his sword and looked at his instructor, who understood he had made his choice. "Can you tell me the name of your blade?" Naruto replied. "Tenkaichi." The entire blade gleamed brilliantly, blinding everyone in the room, while Naruto shielded his eyes with his sword. The light vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving everyone staring at Naruto and gasping at what they saw. When Uzumaki opened his eyes, he was surprised to see that the color of his sword had changed from the tip of the blade to the handle, and that it had a cross guard with 4 spikes that curved out to form the manji. He then noticed a short length of black chain connected to a tiny red circle hanging from the base of the hilt. He brought the chain to. The circular was examined and discovered to be a copy of the spiral emblem of the Uzumaki clan. "Sensei, what does this mean?" demanded Naruto. "How did the sword change color, let alone the chain with my clan's symbol in the crossguard that wasn't there before?" The sage laughed, which perplexed the redhead and his family. "I wanted you to make your sword because it's a part of you. The meteorite absorbed portions of your chakra and soul while you were forging the sword. As a result, your weapon is a part of you, and you know your sword's true name. That is why Tenkaichi changed its color and chain, as well as your clan's symbol in the crossguard appeared because this is its true form," the sage replied. Naruto is taken aback by this discovery and gazes at his newly titled blade, still trying to process the fact that it is now a part of him. Naruto had another realization. "Didn't you know about this?" his instructor asked, nodding. "Yes, because my blade was made of the same material, but I didn't forge it," the sage said, placing his palm on the handle of his sword. Naruto blinked, having missed it when he arrived. "Am I really that stupid to forget about his sword?" his instructor continued. "In one of the worlds you'll visit, there will be people, very powerful people, with abilities that rival ours." "Really? What can you tell me about them?" Uzumaki exclaimed. The sage sighed and shrugged his shoulders. "That's for you to figure out," Naruto said, pouting. Everyone except his wife gasped audibly when the first shinobi laughed before making a serious expression. "You are now prepared to begin your journey." Naruto nodded and sheathed Tenkaichi over his right shoulder. He took a few steps forward before turning right. The sage was a few steps behind him, both of them silent. Finally, the first Jinchuriki spoke up. Keep in mind that the keys are spread across 4 worlds, and in order to reach them, you must first pass through each bridge world that connects the 4 major worlds. Naruto nodded in agreement. Yes, I know, the young Jinchuriki realized, but how do I know if I'm in the world where one of the keys is, and how do I find them? The former Jinchuriki pointed to his stomach. Kurama. Yes, Kurama was born when I split the 10 tails chakra with the keys. He will be your compass and tell you if you're in one of the 4 major worlds or one of the bridge worlds, the sage concluded, drawing a nod from his adolescent protege. He smiled at his offspring, remembering all the time they'd spent together over the previous 6 months. Good luck, Naruto. I know you'll succeed, he said as he hugged the young sage. They soon parted ways, with Amari walking alongside her husband. Please stay alive and come back to us, the lovely lady said, hugging her relative. Naruto broke the embrace to look over Amari's shoulder and saw the Shinju clan approaching them. The hero of the hidden leaf waved them off, and they reciprocated with gestures. Wait a second, someone said. Everyone looked around for a lady with fiery red hair, a tiny stone on her brow, and a robe with a stylized Uzumaki clan insignia on the back. Naruto smiled as he recognized the lady as one of his clan's members. The first Hokage's wife, Mito, smiled as her name was called. She approached her colleague Jinchuriki and hugged him tightly, and he hugged her back. During the 6 months, the 2 Uzumakis became close, and Mito taught Naruto about their clan's history as well as every unique fuinjutsu in their armory. The sage took a few steps back and closed his eyes after a few seconds. Naruto exclaimed, Kurama. In response to being awakened, the fox slightly opened his eyes and snarled. What is it exactly, Naruto? The moment has arrived. The pupils of the tailed beast dilated and he lifted his head slightly. Isn't it time, Naruto? Alright, let's get this started. Yep, let's get started, Naruto said as he opened his eyes and directed energy into his limbs. Soon after, his normal blue chakra appeared in his right hand, followed by Kurama's red, yellowish chakra in his left palm. He gradually clasped his hands together, forming a Rasengan-like orb with yellow and blue energy flowing around it. Now, exclaimed Naruto, thrusting forward his limbs and unleashing the energy. In front of the young Uzumaki, the energy began to form a white gateway. He stopped drawing energy and began walking towards the gateway when he felt it was solid enough. The sage exclaimed, Naruto. The Jinchuriki's gaze shifted to him. Remember to wait 2 months before opening another portal to the next world. Naruto gave his blessing. I got it. Thank you very much. I promise you I will not fail. Naruto's hand joined the Shinju clan in applauding and raising their knuckles in the air. The toad sage turned to face the opening and leapt through just as it was about to close. The sage of the 6 paths smiled at his successor, knowing that his successor would not abandon his mission. The unknown world, a house hidden among the darkness of a vast metropolis, had a satellite disk pointing to the stars in the sky, gates encircling the top, and a strange scent of death permeated the air. The air seemed to fill with energy all of a sudden, and sparkles began to emerge and respond to their surroundings. Then, out of nowhere, a white gateway appeared, spider cracking the ground below and creating a tiny hole. A familiar figure emerged from the white doorway. As the gateway closed, the figure exhaled and looked up into the heavens, gazing at the moon. Beautiful moon tonight, huh? Naruto observed before recalling the keys. I should check with Kurama to see if this is one of the bridge world. Kurama. Yeah, I know. Just give me a second. Oh, boy, Naruto expressed concern. What exactly do you mean, oh, boy, Kurama? This is one of the bridge worlds. I sensed around everywhere, but no luck, so one of the keys isn't here. Naruto sighed as he and his companion waited 2 months to travel to the next world. What am I supposed to do for 2 months? He got his answer when he heard shrieking from the building's side, so he dashed to the edge and was horrified by what he saw. 5 people with deformed and injured faces, slouching with a large mandible space, vacant and curled back eyes, and pallid skin tone. They surrounded a lady and struck her quickly, gorging on her flesh. You got your answer. You can kill those things, Kurama simply replied. Naruto ignored his partner's response because the sight of humans devouring another human horrified him. What the hell is going on here? He turned around and began walking towards the cannibals, which made the leaf shinobi smile. Oh well, Naruto said, drawing Tenkaichi's attention, I might as well try out my new weapon. jumping to the ground and landing in front of the deformed humans, his blade pointing at them. One of them charged at him, but Naruto quickly sidestepped to the left and struck his attacker in the head, splattering blood everywhere. As the corpse fell to the ground, Naruto smiled at the others. He was behind them in a split second, his blade gleaming with blood and the cut heads of the corpses on the ground with the fallen feasters. The sage spun his blade to remove the blood and sheathed it before inspecting one of the corpses. "Naruto, what exactly are you doing?" "I'm trying to figure out if they can infect others through contact or something," Naruto explained as he turned one of the decapitated corpses face up and noticed a bite mark on the shoulder. "So if they bite you, you'll become one of them," Kurama observed as Naruto cocked his brow. "What do you mean, them? I got rid of all of them." "Look to your right," Kurama replied, and the Jinchuriki's pupils widened in surprise as he saw a swarm of cannibals, numbering 50 or more, slouching towards him. "Whoa, there are a lot of them." Naruto became concerned when he heard his friend snicker. "This should be a piece of cake for you," Kurama said, causing his Jinchuriki to make a hand sign in response. "Wind style. Great breakthrough," Naruto simply stated as a powerful blast of wind appeared from nowhere and headed towards the sluggish opponent, colliding with the cannibals and driving them back with great force until they were no longer visible. "I should check for survivors, if there are any," groaned the young Uzumaki, leaping high onto one of the houses next to him, then continuing to jump across multiple houses while searching for survivors in the chaos-ridden city. As the leaf shinobi jumped from building to building, he began to lose hope of finding survivors until he heard a scream, at which point he turned his head to the left and changed direction, heading to the source of the scream, and after a few minutes, he came to a halt on one of the buildings across the street from a building with lights turned on. Naruto noticed a boy with an average appearance, spiky black hair, a slender but powerful build, and armed with a metal bat standing a few feet away from an odd vehicle on two wheels next to a machine, and the sight was enough to raise Naruto's anger slightly. A man with dark skin, dressed strangely, was holding hostage a teenage girl around his age, who had reddish-brown eyes, long, light brownish hair with bangs and two strands sticking out of the rest of her hair, a slender figure with ample breasts, and was also wearing some sort of uniform. The shinobi drew a kunai and reappeared behind the culprit, startling him and noting his expression. "What the hell is up with that look on your face? I warned you." "Let the girl go," Naruto said coldly, his kunai close to the neck of the soon-to-be dead man, who was stunned because someone had gotten behind him and was preventing him from getting what he wanted. "Do you think I'm going to hand over this bai?" He paused as the blonde ninja pressed the kunai against his neck, almost penetrating the flesh. "I'll say it again," the juvenile Uzumaki said flatly, "Let her go now." Both the boy and the girl sensed the stranger's murderous intent, but the perpetrator did not carry out his orders. "Ha, no way, blonde. I'm gonna kill you first, then the damn boy over there, and after I have my fun with the slut here." The crazy man didn't finish his sentence as his jugular and throat bled profusely from the cut by the kunai's swift slice. The man let go of the girl, who ran to her friend for comfort, while the former grasped his throat, gasping for air, and collapsing on the ground. The two teenagers saw the stranger throw his kunai to draw blood, then place the tiny blade in some kind of scabbard on his leg, along with a black headpiece with a metal plate with an odd emblem and a black sword slung over his right shoulder. "Are you okay, miss?" Naruto inquired as he noticed the teenagers staring at him. The girl grudgingly nodded, and the samurai took a step forward before pulling a strange weapon from his trousers and pointing it at him. "Really? I just saved your friend from that insane man's assault, and this is my reward?" The youngster continued to point the gun at him, trembling slightly. "We're not sure if you'll kill us or betray us. Nobody can be trusted after what just happened." Naruto exhaled, realizing what the teens had gone through and how typical it was for them to react in this way. "Look, if I wanted you to kill me, you'd be dead right now and you'd never find out how," the sage responded, and the teenager's eyes widened in fear as the stranger revealed he could kill them in an instant without them realizing what happened, and the former then tried to calm the situation because he didn't want to take the weapon from the boy because he doesn't know what it can do to him or them. "Can you tell me your names?" "Takashi Kamuro," the black-haired boy replied, and Naruto nodded and looked at the lady to ask her name. "Rei Miyamoto," she said. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki," the shinobi introduced himself as he approached both teenagers, ignoring the weapon in front of him because he'd avoid it or take it from Takashi before he knew what hit him. He came to a halt a few feet away from them and extended his hand, beaming at them. Takashi and Rei were surprised by Naruto's actions and feelings, as if nothing had happened and they were meeting for the first time, and the former hesitantly dropped his firearm and extended his right hand, linking with Naruto's and shaking it for a few seconds before letting go. "I'm sorry about what happened just now." Naruto paused Takashi with his palm. "I totally understand," the sage said as he lowered his hand. "I would have done the same thing if it had happened to me and someone I know," the child exhaled contentedly. "Are you the only two survivors?" they both asked, shaking their heads. "No, we got separated from our group and planned to meet at the police station," Ray replied, and Naruto agreed, looking around to see blackness encircling them, with the lights above them keeping it at bay. He returned his gaze to the teenagers and inquired what they didn't expect. "May I accompany you?" Takashi thought about it for a few moments while watching Naruto. The blonde's look gives the impression that he can manage himself in a battle and could be a crucial member in battling them. As they heard groaning nearby, Takashi nodded in agreement. The trio looked around and saw them all around the building. "Come on, let's go," Ray said as Takashi and her climbed aboard the motorcycle. The two realized there wasn't room for Naruto and turned to face him. "Sorry, Naruto, it's only for two," Takashi explained. The Leaf's new friends were perplexed by his smirking. "Don't worry, I'll keep up," the high schooler said, cocking their brows and about to ask how, but they saw the undead approaching and decided to ask later. Takashi started the engine and turned the knob, leaving the station and Naruto behind. "What do you think he meant when he said he'd keep up with us?" asked her old pal. "I'm not sure," she shrugged, "but I hope he's okay." "Aw, thanks guys," Naruto said, his anime-style eyes bulging out as the two teenagers looked to their left to see Naruto sprinting alongside them, the ninja chuckling at their responses. "Okay, I'll explain everything about myself once I get you back to your company." He received gestures from them, and Takashi was driving down the street. Naruto kept sprinting alongside his friends, thinking to himself, "I'll get them and their group to a safe and secure location." To be continued.
That's it for this part, guys. Thanks for listening to this video. If you did enjoy this part of the story, like, share, and subscribe for more, and thank you all for your support and have a great day.